All right, y'all, we are back here with John of Al Vans, founder and CEO. We're gonna do a little adventure rig walk around. So not just one, but two. Van, of course, have to do that, but then also the FJ60, man. So we're gonna talk about this rig. I am a Toyota, specifically a Land Cruiser guy. When John and I first met, the first thing he said, I think before we even kicked off, he goes, dude, is that a Land Cruiser behind you? He was like, Toyota? And I was like, only another Land Cruiser guy would
sniff
do that.
it out.
Yeah, he can sniff it out, man. So where do you want to start, man? Which one?
Well, this is what we do. We're here at Owl, so we can talk about the van first, and then we'll get to the passion stuff, although I'm very passionate about vans too.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about all things automotive. If it has wheels, I like it and I can appreciate it. And so this is basically, we call it the ultimate Revel. It's dirty right now, I apologize. It just rained and then all the dust gets on it. But
way better shape than most, man.
You know, I won't go through it in too much detail, but basically everything on this van is stuff that we make or sell. You know, from the Pismo bumper, the grill lights, solar panels. You guys aren't supposed to see these yet. This is a new product that we replace the vents with some LED lights so that you can get more light without it looking, I don't know, I always found that these kind of things with the lights on it just kind of look like a little bit too Craig and Auto Parts for me.
This is aggressive looking too, man. I really like the way this looks. Why did this come to life? Were you like, hey, we need something to basically be our hallmark kind of flagship as we're putting stuff together? How did this come to be?
You know, I was really impressed that Winnebago actually made the Revel in the first place.
Yeah.
And then you have kind of more bespoke builders like Storyteller and stuff like that who make amazing vans. But for a large company like Winnebago to make something that's such a departure from an RV was kind of exciting for us. So one of the first vehicles we got was this, and we started designing products for it. And I think we really started to take off right when the pandemic hit, everything got locked down. Nobody knew what was going to happen with anything. And I think all businesses, even businesses that thrived during the pandemic at the beginning, kind of fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
And nobody could work, everything was shut down. So I just went in and filmed a little video with my iPhone, walking through all the details and everything we had done to this van. And I think that video had, for us at the time, we were small, I think it hit about 1 million views, which for us, for somebody that maybe had like 35 YouTube followers at the time, that was pretty good.
That's amazing, man.
Now my kid probably is like, 1 million views is nothing, you can't even monetize that.
Yeah, that's exactly
But I'm not in the game of monetization. So, you know, we've slowly over the years kind of added more stuff. Our roof rack is about to come out. We've got our Talon wheels. Sorry, these are Mojos.
These are Mojos? Always love these, man. And the bronze is not used enough, man, this color.
I had to do something a little bit different. Black looks great, but everybody does black, so I had to go different with the bronze.
Yeah, it looks great.
Got our side steps, which I'm really happy with how they came out. We're now making those for, we got a Dodge truck that we're gonna pull our show trailer with. So we're making a custom set of steps to match for that. So that'll be kind of fun. We also got our box, and I welded up a tire carrier that kind of matches our tire carrier in the back of the Dodge. But we did an exhaust on this, stainless steel exhaust, and then what we're kind of known for, which is all this back end stuff, the boxes. This is our monster box.
Yeah, this is
ladder
epic,
tire
John.
carrier. I love this thing.
We have a large, which is amazing. But I was toying with this idea, like, do we go monster? And look at this thing.
See, this is my van in a nutshell. We had a customer get a monster box that was here, and the gas piston was dead in that box, which we've never had happen before. But they're like, hey John, we're gonna take the pistons off your box for this customer so they can get out of here. So this is my van. So
what do they say? Like, the cobbler's got no good shoes.
Oh my God.
The guy who builds these things are like, I take the same.
Everything, this was a scratch and dent monster box too. Like, everything I get is like secondhand. I'm the Goodwill of van parts. But imagine that this has 2 gas struts that hold this up.
Yes.
You normally don't have to hold this up, and then you've got one latch here that you can put this down.
Workstation,
and
man.
a nice little workstation there. And then we made these bags that kind of pull out, and you can access your recovery gear easily. So yeah, that's kind of some of our boxes.
John, this is a game changer, man. We went up to Alaska. I mean, like, not a single piece of water, dust, nothing got in there, man. It was just epic.
Oh, I'm glad that worked out for you. And I don't know, we try to keep all the dirty stuff out of the van, because even though it's a van, anyone that doesn't have one doesn't realize that they get small inside, especially when you're inside it, and you want to keep it clean. So anything dirty, be it hiking shoes, be it dog stuff, be it recovery gear, you want to keep it outside the van. Anyone that off-roads knows the value of an accessible spare. So that's kind of where we started. It's still probably our most popular product is the ladder tire carrier. And one of the cool things for me is that these are now kind of like a thing, like a ladder tire carrier is like a thing now, and it didn't exist before we started it. And now, like, we don't have it on this van, but our Sherpa panel, which is our modular mounting panel, I mean, they're on the backs of all these like earth roamers and all this stuff now. Yeah. So people are taking that look that we've kind of pioneered with the Sprinter van, and it's moving into off-road in general. I mean, I've seen people make Sherpa plates for 4Runners and all this stuff. I'm like, hey, that's mine.
Yeah,
you know?
No, that's exactly.
That's fine as long as they're out of my market. I don't care.
No, I mean, when this is also, it's such a little thing maybe nowadays, but like this part where you can pop the tire on the wheel
as opposed to a hub.
Oh my God, I remember the days where you have to actually like basically change your tire twice.
Yep.
Because you take all the lugs off. It was horrible, man. That's the last thing when you do is get a flat and go like, let me go change my tire first. No, this is amazing.
I experimented with all kinds of designs. I even had some designs where you had like a plug-in ratchet that you could hook up to the tire and lift it up. And they were just all too complicated. So we went with good old-fashioned throw your back out. But
get your squats in. Don't skip leg day.
No. So this is our side ladder, and I'm really happy with how it came out. We try to build modularity into everything we do so you can have multiple functions in each product that you buy. And then these are some of the products that are made on that lathe. This allows the ladder to be super sturdy, but also be shipped in 2 pieces. I think it looks pretty cool too.
Sharp, dude.
And then some of the innovation that people don't necessarily see is down here, we actually use aluminum breakaway bolts. So instead of using a steel bolt that you want to be as strong as possible, those break at about 5 pounds of torque. Maybe it's 15, I'd have to look it up. But the point there is people catch these ladders on stumps and trees, and you get a tree branch in here, and then it bends your rocker panels on your van. And so with this ladder, if you get it caught on something, those bolts snap, and then you just get two new bolts.
New bolts in and you're done.
So,
what a good, John, before we move on, 2 things. Why blue? And why owl? Where does those 2 things come from, man?
So owl is, this got me in some hot water at home. So my son's nickname is Owl Boy, because when he was a baby, unlike a normal human that would cry when it needs food, love, milk, whatever, he would wake up and hoot like an owl. And for the longest time, my wife and I were like, I swear there's an owl outside our bedroom. And then we finally realized it was just our insane son sitting there in his crib going, whoo, whoo. So we started calling him Owl, like, oh, the owl is up. And
God,
so
I love that, man.
I'm a big fan of iconography. I like a good icon, and taking a page from Steve Jobs' book, he kind of always said, you want to name a company something that's memorable, simple, and has a good icon. And Owl, it's easy to spell. I could get the URL. It was outdoorsy without being like all these other names that you couldn't even remember. It was like Adventure Outdoor Grid Off-Road, and you're like, that's every company in this space, you know? So you don't remember the name, and I don't know, I thought it was a good name, and then I just had a shackle on my desk, and I was like, oh, I could make that the owl and then put a face on it, and so that's how that's born.
And blue, just because I heard that's your favorite color.
I love blue, and Dave, our dealer sales guy, absolutely hates blue. He hates everything blue, so I get a constant, never-ending conveyor belt of crap from him because he hates blue. But when in doubt, blue. Even our plastic wrap is blue.
It's blue,
that's
man.
Commitment. Storage container, what color should we make it? Let's make it blue. What color plastic wrap should we get? Let's pay extra for the damn blue plastic wrap.
It goes well, man. Because everybody in this industry is earth tones. So now you got something that sticks out.
Yep.
Yeah, dig it.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the basics of the van. I mean, if somebody wants to know more about van parts, I've got thousands of hours of videos on van parts, so we won't bore them, but just the overall look that we're going for. I mean, this van's a little bit over the top, but they're so damn functional, and they're really fun to use, and you can still drive them to dinner. You can park it in a parking space. Nobody in the HOA, for the most part, is going to be like, that's an RV, get it out of here, as opposed to like one of those big fiberglass box RVs. So, and then
it looks cool, man.
You have to thank my team for taking a picture of me when I was like 12.
Wait, that's you?
Yes, 12 with a bowl cut.
I thought that was like, dude,
and
my God.
And hitting the never-ending pasta bowl at Olive Garden, and that's me. So I got in my van and they had that hanging there. I was like, damn it.
I feel like all all the guys, I can say for guys, I can't speak for gals, but for guys, all those guys that we end up being like having a really intense fitness regimen have that phase in our life. We're not stoked about it, but I think when we hit like late 30s and 40s, we're like, just embrace it, man. I ain't that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I can remember eating whole baguettes at a sitting, so it was a joyous time.
That and it was Olive Garden, the Tuscan potato soup, man. Yeah, that's the best, man. This is
so
gorgeous.
that's the Sprinter. That thing, I love that thing, and I love to camp in it, travel in it, do all kinds of stuff in it. And
so
then
you're still using the heck out of it.
Oh, I use it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm going skiing this weekend with my son in it, so it's perfect for that. And then I would say that one of the perks of owning an automotive company is the fact that you can do other fun automotive things. So I'm a huge Land Cruiser guy. I'm a sucker for Facebook Marketplace. Something old and rusty with a Toyota badge shows up on Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, I must own that piece of rust.
You must get it, man.
And then you media blast it, and you're like, what did I pay for? There's nothing left. But this started out as a pretty decent quality 60. It's an 83, and then I took it up to a guy, Jason Trail Taylor up in Reading, and what he does is he does an 80 series coil conversion. So underneath this, instead of having leaf springs like a standard 80, it's got leaf springs like a standard 60. It's got 80 coil springs, and is that just shiny or is that a leak? No, that's just shiny. Yeah, so it's got lockers and 80 axles and coil springs, and completely redoes the entire chassis, brakes from an 80 series. And then
John, it's as gorgeous underneath that thing as it is on top, man. Holy
and then
smokes.
I'll pop the hood. It's just the quality of the work these guys did.
And how long have you had this thing, John?
I've had this a couple years. I guess I don't know the details of it, but so this is a Cummins R2.8 4-cylinder diesel.
Oh, she's running on diesel, man.
It's not fast, but I don't want this. I mean, people drop Corvette engines and stuff in these all the time, and I mean, that kind of power is great, but this isn't a fast. You don't want to go fast in this thing.
No, man.
This thing handles like crap. Like it's meant for off-roading. It's meant for taking my kids to the ice cream store, getting off-road, going skiing, stuff like that.
Nice, slow, winding roads in a mountain, man. Yeah, this is where you want to be.
And they did an amazing job putting this Cummins in here. Again, it's a little bit dirty right now, but
they don't make them like that.
It looks factory.
The engine compartment is so much space in these things, man. You can really get your hands around where everything is supposed to sit. They did a great job, John.
Yeah.
How long did it take to make this thing?
It was about a year,
Okay.
and this is actually a factory Toyota color. So I saw somebody had one of these 60s.
Kidding? Really?
Yeah,
they made them like this?
It's called olive green, but Toyota has two olive greens. One is more brown. This is, I think it's like 637. It's a pretty rare color, but this is a factory Toyota color that I painted it. So originally this was a tan 60, which is still a beautiful 60, but I wasn't really into having it look like everyone else's.
No, man, nothing is. I mean, I got an FJ60 man, and it is charcoal and I like gray, love it. But I tell Kelsey all the time, whenever that thing starts to go beyond its fade, this one might be on deck, man. This is a great color.
It looks very vintage, and what I try to do is try to keep it a good resto mod. So I actually started looking up like the best round headlights. This is kind of a funny story. And I'm going on the internet, I started watching some YouTube videos like, man, this place called Dapper Lighting looks like the place to go for my headlights. And I'm like looking up, like, I go to their website to order it, and then I'm scrolling through because I was going to give them a call and ask some questions. I scroll down to the About Us, and there's their address, and I'm going, they're in the same business park as us. Like, this was back when we were in California. I'm like, they're 150 feet away. So I literally walked out the door, turned left. I'm like, walked down the street. I'm like, there it is, Dapper Lighting. And I like walked in. I was like, I just found you guys on the internet. I wanted to buy some lights, but now I can talk to you in person. So they're in Vegas now, but it was funny. They make really, really nice resto mod headlights.
I would have never even realized till you said that, man.
Round headlights.
Those weren't.
And they've got an angel eye in them, like a little glowing halo in them, which is pretty cool. And then the interior, I really, really love. I'm a huge fan of Scheelman. So we completely redid the interior, redid the door cards. Scheelman makes some amazing seats. They're a German company. So I got more fabric from Scheelman, and we did all the door cards and the rear seat to match. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it came out.
John, holy smokes, man. So Shieldman is, I mean, you can also put their seats up in vans as well,
Yeah,
too,
I
right?
have
This is
Shieldmans in my van as well.
apparently one of the most comfortable things you can rock, huh?
They make seats that fit, well, you can really put a seat in anything, but mainly they do Porsches, Land Cruisers, and vans.
Okay.
And so there isn't a nut or bolt on this thing that hasn't been touched or changed. And one of the highlights for me was the builder said that, I mean, he's built a number of vehicles for Jay Leno, and apparently Jay Leno's buyer saw it and asked how much, and the guy said, it's not mine, it's a customer's. And he goes, well, ask the customer how much, and I said no. Just because all I would do is build it again.
Yeah, I know, right?
I wanted this, and okay, could I make money on it? And yes, it would be cool to have built a car that Jay Leno has in his collection, but at the end of the day, like, I want to take my kids around in this, I want to enjoy it, I want to go off-roading in it and stuff like that. So I built it for me and kept it for me. So
No, it's amazing, man. Can you, why, I have my reasons. I'm curious for you, man, why Land Cruiser? What about it do you feel like, just when you think about the product that is Land Cruiser, that category, why is that something do you think guys like you and me are so drawn to?
I love the fact that these were built with, God, what's the term for it? It's something like, the gist of it is third world maintenance, right?
Yeah.
So they built these with the idea that they would get used in places where you may not change the oil for 70,000 miles. And so the engine's got to run. It's not going to be fast, but I mean, you could, it's like in Back to the Future when he's putting like bolts and oranges and bananas into the carburetor and it just sucks it all up. I mean, you can do that with these things, man. You could pour whatever nasty gas with water, and I'm talking about the stock Toyota engines, and they'll just take it. They just take it, and they run forever. And the old joke is like, if you want to go off-roading somewhere remote, get a Jeep. If you want to get back, get a Land Cruiser. So
yes, it's so good.
That's what I love, and just that Japanese ethos of overbuilding stuff. And I think the 80 was one of the last proper off-roaders. Solid axle, and it's just, there's something cool about it. And I've never been one to follow all the crowds. And I mean, Jeeps are fantastic at off-roading, so not a knock against a Jeep at all, but everybody goes off-roading in a Jeep.
Yeah.
And I just needed something with a little bit more character. And also, you can fix up an old rusty Jeep, but there's so many more old rusty Land Cruisers around to fix up.
No, and I think people will love it too. From a practicality standpoint, I use my Land Cruiser multiple times a day. It's like I kind of rack and stack them. So every other day I'm driving it. There's not a single thing, I can't go fast doing anything,
no.
But there's not a single thing I can't do in this thing, but everything works, man. It is almost a completely original, to include the little light that comes on for the AC, it blows cold, and it's just like, how does this thing, it is 35 years old, and it is going like it always has been, man. It doesn't go very fast. I can only probably get it to about 58 miles going uphill, miles an hour, but it is amazing, man.
I mean, it's that blue 80 up on the lift, I don't know, 350,000 miles on the original engine, runs like a top. It's turning, I think I have 38 and 0.5s on that with the stock rear gearing, which is not ideal, but I mean, that's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
How does a car run that long, that well, So anyway, I have a passion for these things. You can still buy all the old parts. I like hunting down the parts online, buying parts from the Middle East and all kinds of craziness like that. So.
John, what are these wheels, man? I mean, before we wrap up, I'm like, almost as soon as I saw it, I was like, what are these wheels?
So I wanted to, again, do something that's not black. So you'll notice that a lot of the side steps, the bumpers, they're a dark brown. Again, I affectionately call it poo-poo brown because I just think that just screams 70s and 80s, which is, this is early 80s.
Looks like Starsky and Hutch almost, man.
I just love that brown look. So these are actually Steelies off of a FJ Cruiser.
Okay.
And so those are just Steelies that I had powdered brown to match all the other stuff. And again, just trying to be a little bit different. And then Trail Taylor went ahead and put a little owl in the side steps for me.
Oh, wait, man. Holy smokes. You see this? I mean, you got to, though. When you kind of have it'd be one thing, I guess, if you ran like a real estate brokerage. It would be cool to be repping, like, hey, can you grab that in my thing? But you guys, it's Al Vans is a total different move.
Has to be manual.
Has to be. This is my only downside with my 62 is it's an automatic. So part of me wants to get also round lights and wants to get this. I have to ask the
See, but the 62 looks so 80s. Those square lights.
square lights, double stacked.
I like it.
Pushing
I like it. I love both of them. And there's something so 80s about those square lights. And I think, personally, I think this is the best proportioned SUV ever made.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Between the 60 and the 62, the proportions, the look, the room, everything, I think they broke the mold with this one, and every SUV since is a step down.
No, I can't agree more. I think it's one of those things too, when you think about what they've done recently with the new introduction to the new Land Cruiser. How you feel about that? Good, bad, and different?
I feel better about it that they're trying to bring it back more to its roots.
Yes.
The Land Cruiser became like a $190,000 behemoth with massaging seats, and that's not a Land Cruiser.
No, man.
No one drives through a stream with a massaging seat. Yes. And if you do, I don't want to know you.
Okay, hold on. Hear the door close. Like, mine doesn't even do that, man. I mean, I got to probably do an adjustment, but it's just solid, man.
Yeah, all the paint and body work was done by Carlos Soria up by our old shop in Novato, and they do fantastic work. And yeah, I mean, I never knew that a split pea soup paint job would be as expensive as it is.
Split pea. This is exactly what it looks like, man. Thanks so much for letting us run around. We checked out the van. We checked out this Land Cruiser. If y'all are ever thinking, like, to me, what I really appreciate you just giving me a few minutes to take a look at this is you don't, oftentimes when you kind of wonder who's running this company, you are, like, it's in your DNA.
I love it.
Right? You're not just a car guy or like a gearhead just because it pays the bills. You're a gearhead because this is what you'd be doing probably even if you weren't having out.
My goal in life, which I don't know why I work so hard because you don't need much money to do it. My goal in life is to have a piece of property, fix up old cars, and just yell at people that come on my property. Like, that's all I want out of life. And I don't know why I work so hard, because it doesn't cost that much. I can buy a rusty old thing, wheel some wood, roll, get off my land. That's all I need in life.
I love it, man. Well, thank you so much, John, for this stuff, man. It's so good to be able to hang out with you and check this out.